I don't know if I said this earlier, but I hope everyone's having an alright day today. I'm feeling surprisingly okay, given everything happening in many ways, but I feel like I'm doing pretty okay, and it feels nice to be streaming this finally. Again, I almost feel like this childhood games, like, marathon is actually very comforting right now. I'm just revisiting all these, like, very, like, comforting games from my, gaming history. Very well timed with all the chaos of life at the moment. But yeah, World 5 is another, like, spike back upwards, where this one's not easy. This game likes to throw a lot of curveballs at you, and this is definitely one of them. There's actually a secret exit in this stage. There's a way to get a whistle, but I don't think you can get it without a P-Wing. Not a whistle, but like a music box. I never get it though, because I just don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth it because it's so out of the way, and it's also a case of like wasting a P-Wing that I'd rather save on a later stage in this world. Is this the one with the cool trick? Well, I kinda got it. Not as well as I would have liked. I would have liked to have landed on the first block, but there's a thing where they straight up, if you can catch one of those blocks, you can skip ahead to a later part of the level, which is nice. The other fascinating thing about the stage is actually home to a RNG manipulation. I think? Is that the word I'm looking for? I don't think it's the right term. What am I looking for? Basically, like a credit swap is what it is. I forget arbitrary code execution? I think that's what I'm looking for, term-wise. But if like you set Koopa shells to a very specific position, you can actually set it up to just straight up warp you to the end of the game. Like, the ending sequence. So that is part of a speedrun of like beating the game in like 5 minutes by doing ACE to get to the end. Again, assuming ACE is the right term for that, I think it would be. Arbitrary code execution is really fascinating to me. It's the kind of thing that I understand why it's not seen as like a valid speedrun in certain categories, just because you're skipping a lot of the game. But just the idea of if you stand in this spot, move a bunch of items a certain way, and like make very specific movements in general, that you can just like manipulate the game to take you to the ending or like later on into the game. I just find that really fascinating how that works from a purely technical standpoint. Again, genuinely fascinating. Alright, another boom boom fight. This game really doesn't have many bosses. Even the Koopalings are just kind of the same fight over and over again. Alright, 2 Hammer Bros and World 5-3. 5-3 is obviously one of the most iconic levels in Mario 3 because it's the home of the Kuribo shoe. Kuribo shoe is such an interesting thing because they translate like Goomba, like they give Goomba its own name, but they don't for the Kuribo's shoe, because I'm pretty sure that's like the name of the Goomba enemies in Mario in general. Again, a lot of localization choices in Mario are fascinating because they've stuck. Like, wow, okay, I don't know what happened there. My brain just was not functioning, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, what was I saying? It's interesting because, like, you know, Lakitu, for example, is like Jugum in, Japanese, so a notable example of this is the, Jugum bus in, Mario RPG, where it's like, got the initials, like, JB, I think. And they just kind of left that in, even though the Lakitu isn't called that in like, anywhere else. So again, a lot of interesting localization choices. I mean, the 90s and 80s were just full of them, to be honest. But like, you know, Bowser, for example, is just straight up known as Koopa in Japanese. Yeah, the Creep Buster is fun. You can jump on, like, spiked enemies. If you combine it with a Fire Flower, it's really nice to be able to, like, skip a lot. However, you cannot combine it with the Descent from the tail. Also, I should have taken a hit on purpose to lose the power-up, so I could actually get a running dash. So the way this works is, if you are at max P speed, you will, like, always get a star if you can jump into the end goal. However, that's actually easier said than done most of the time, because a lot of levels end with, like, a warp pipe into a very short segment. So it's not, like, the most helpful thing, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't have time, do I? Wait, I do. Cool. That's, like, very specific timing window on that, so I'm glad that worked out. Alright, Luigi's turn to fight the Hammer Bro, and then we'll head to the tower. The tower's a very interesting level because it's one that never goes away. Traditionally, you can't replay levels until you beat the game, but this one does just straight up let you keep replaying it. And there's actually two variants of it too. There's an up version and a down version. Obviously, the down version is a lot faster. But to get to the second half of the world, you do have to actually climb up this tower to the heavens, which is very cool. Again, a fascinating game. Again, definitely one that I hold near and dear to my heart, to be honest. But again, I'll probably save the sentimental talk about this game for a little bit later. Again, I almost just wish I could have put on a better show today, if that makes sense. Like, you know, not bought so many stages in World 4, but at least I'm kind of making up for it with World 5 so far. But again, I know my luck. As soon as I start saying things like that, I'm gonna start screwing up more. So, and I did have the one death in 5-3, which was very weird. Very unfortunate. Yeah, there's a descent version of the stage if you have to go back to the lower half of the world. It's also slightly frustrating because if you're doing two-player mode again, you actually do have to do this twice. So, hey, we got to see this level again already. Alright, we'll try to get through this a lot faster as Luigi. So far so good. We also had a power-up going into this as Luigi, well, more than Super. So that helps a little bit. Not a ton, I'd say, but a little bit. You also have the little Micro Goombas in the blocks. It's a fascinating enemy, and I can't think of any other games with them. I'm trying to think if Mario Maker even has that. Again, it's been a bit since I've played Mario Maker. And by that I mean it's only been like a year. I never played 2 though. Mostly because I just kept waiting for a price drop, and then they basically yanked support for that game so fast that I never felt that inspired. Plus, like, I think Mario Maker in general became a lot more, like, hardcore than I was hoping it would be. Very much focused on, like, a hardcore demographic that likes, you know, really difficult Mario levels, which isn't necessarily what I'm into with the series. Like, I enjoy hard platformers, this should be obvious by now. However, I almost feel like Mario Maker levels enter a point of excessiveness that just kind of does not agree with me. Also, they tend to just be like random bullshit go a lot, just like tossing out random enemies and stuff that are not fair to deal with. Like, ridiculous Kaizo levels, but the problem with Kaizo for me is, I like save stating in Kaizo, so not being able to save state in, like, Mario Maker makes it a lot harder. Also, I like how you can see a tiny version of the below, of the, like, the ground part of the map from here. It's a really cool detail. The NES version also has a weird glitch, where, if you actually have, like, the airship get away, like if you mess up the airship level, you actually do run into a situation where you can soft lock the game, if I'm not mistaken. Like, if the airship tries to go to the lower half, the game can, like, soft lock or crash or something. I don't remember the exact circumstances of that, though. Either way, we'll try to avoid that. Though that's not an issue in this version, if I'm not mistaken. Well, we finally got something not a fire flower, but I think this one is also a fixed drop. It is interesting, though. I do feel like these stages are relatively short. Oh. I regret speaking. Me, these stages are relatively short. Immediately gets into an auto-scroller. I feel like I have some kind of talent. Not as much as some of my friends, but a talent nonetheless of, like, accidentally willing things into existence, or at least immediately eating my words on things. This is definitely one of those cases. I don't even remember if this is like the coin stage. I don't know what the coin stage is of World 5. I don't think it'd be this because, like, you wouldn't be able to go back for the other coins. You also have these fire chomps that are really annoying to deal with. I also don't know if the fire chomps ever come back in any other game. I can't think of any, at least. Yeah, this is actually going pretty smoothly compared to how I thought World 4 was going to go, which ended up being mildly disastrous, so... Yeah, this is a good example where it's like, here you have to go around the right side to get to the fortress, but if you beat the fortress, the gate unlocks, therefore you can just go straight to, the other half of the world. So again, a bit of a shortcut, nothing overly critical. There's also like an underground section here. I might regret going here, by the way. But this is a fairly, like, obscure area, so I figured it's worth, like, mentioning. I don't remember if this is the one I'm thinking of, though. Like, if it needs, like, anything special to leave. Doesn't. We're good. I was overthinking. Okay, hitboxes can be a little wonky on the Micro Goombas, I feel. Yeah, like that was a case of we just couldn't build up P-speed fast enough to get the automatic star, just because the runway is so short. Speedrunners have a trick, though, of like if you jump frame 1 after leaving the pipe or something, you keep your P-speed. It's like very specific, though. It's like I'm not a speedrunner. I'm also playing on NSO, so you have like wireless latency. So, not really high odds of hitting speedrun tricks anyway. The Smooth fight. Alrighty, and we got a music box. I don't like music boxes because these enemies drop items. So like, if you use a music box, all you're doing is making it so you're missing out on an item. I'm just gonna do this to get it out of the inventory. You also got a special song, but I prefer the regular level music, to be honest. Ooh, this one. This fortress is kinda gross, not gonna lie. You have fire on the top and bottom of the stage. I forgot that one was there. I forgot that was there, too. Something, something, heat from fire, fire from heat. I am not really trying to do much with my voice at the moment, though. Everyone says my voice is, like, really feminine anyway, which is, like, really confusing to me because I don't necessarily hear it. And I feel like it is a mixture of, like, you know, how my voice sounds in my own head. But I'm also doing highlights, so I'm having to hear my voice externally, and I still don't think I sound that femme. Also, and items bounce differently depending on if you hit the block from the left or right side. They'll go in the opposite side that you hit it from. So in this case, okay. In this case, I deliberately hit the block on the left side because I wanted the star to bounce right. Alright, second try for this one is not bad at all. I'll definitely take it. This stage is a little bit mean, so getting through it relatively easily wasn't too bad. Also, Boom Boom has the ability to fly on his second hit now, in specific stages, but we won't see it, hopefully. If he gets flying, everything gets a lot harder, so I'd prefer if we could just circumvent that, or like sidestep that entirely. Knowing my luck, just doing the flip game will be faster than going around and avoiding it. We got the 1-up at least. That one's here and here. I genuinely am like torn on voice training because it's like I don't feel very strongly about my voice, period. Which is both good and bad, I think. I'm just using a power-up for an extra hit because I think this level can be a little rude. And also so we can get an instant raccoon power-up. Oh, that's unfortunate. Immediately lost it. Luckily there's another one in here. This game is pretty good about power-ups, actually. Also, this is a short-ass level. I guess, you know, there aren't checkpoints, so they do tend to be a little bit on the short side. But some of these levels are like, damn, it's over already, okay? That seems odd to me. Hey, you know what isn't a short level? This next one. This level is like painfully long by this game's standards. We have an auto-scroller again, but it's a vertical auto-scroller, which is honestly really impressive for the time. This was a late NES game. But I think about like Kid Icarus, for example, having a lot of verticality, but also needing like segmented screens to achieve that verticality. Well, this just kind of scrolls upwards. So it's actually really impressive in my opinion. Again, like Kirby's Adventure is another game that was so late that it's like super impressive that the game works as well as it does. And I say that when the game lags horribly. I tried playing Kirby's Adventure, like the NES version, recently. I could not get past, like, the first level without getting massively beat up because of the input delay, from just how laggy everything felt. But again, you can tell that game was really pushing the hardware, for better or worse. Mario 3 is also very laggy on NES, to be fair. Luigi has no power-ups, right? No, he has one. So we'll be fine. I don't remember this castle being too bad, so we'll see how this turns out. Alright, then we have World 6 and 7 as the last big hurdles. World 8 I actually don't think I have as much trouble with, because it's mostly just auto-scrollers. The toughest levels are like the One Fortress, and... Bowser himself can be a little bit frustrating. But in general, I actually don't think World 8 is as hard as World 6 and 7. Again, that irregular difficulty curve in action. Jump up here again just to save myself a little bit of headache. As we go through this auto-scroller, I have a lot of plans for this series. Again, next game I'm really eyeing is probably Pikmin. I don't know if I'll do Pikmin 2 though. I don't know if I'm feeling that, like... how to put this? I don't know if I'm feeling that motivated to play Pikmin 2 at the moment. It's like, I love Pikmin 2. I will defend that game more than most. It's hard. And again, trying to do it deathless is gonna be hell, so... why was that our best Koopaling fight? This is like one of the harder fights. Again, I swear by Wendy being the hardest Koopaling fight. Like, every other one is like way easier. Next one's a little wonky too, but in a different way than the Wendy. Well, kind of in a similar way to the Wendy fight. That means getting through World 6 first, so we'll talk more about that at the end. I've also completely lost track of the ratio of Mario to Luigi for these castles. Nice, another perfect. So we are 5 for 5 so far. And World 6 is when things start to get really dodgy, in my opinion. At least for me. I don't like ice physics. And this world has a lot of ice physics. So it can be very rough to get through. Also, it's a long-ass world, too. There's like 10 regular stages, which might be the highest number of any world, actually. Legitimately trying to think about that now. Yeah, I think this does have the most regular stages. I think there's, like, arguments that could be made of, like, World 8 sort of being longer, but, like, airships and such are counted differently from, like, stages, so they're not, like, numbered. But again, I may also just be completely wrong. I'm pretty sure this stage has a weird glitch on, like, visual glitch because of a palette limitation of, like, a mushroom being the wrong color. It's not like, a 1-up isn't green, it's, like, pure white because of, like, again, palette limitations. Yeah, this is just kind of, even, like, when I'm not playing the best, which is definitely the case today, Mario 3 just continues to be, like, a very comforting game. Like, I might be dying a bunch, but I'm not feeling very stressed by playing this game. It's just like, I'm just kind of vibing. Maybe I'm vibing too much, though, and that's why I'm dying so much, because I'm not locked in. I swear I picked up that phrase from Friends, is locking in. Yeah, this one up here, I think, is miscolored on NES because of limitations. Again, there are arguments that could be made about what's the best version of different games, but I feel like for Mario 3 especially, this is, like, you can make a very good argument that Advance 4 is the best version of Mario 3 in a way that you really can't make necessarily with some of the others. You know, something else that would technically apply to this series would be Link to the Past. Which raises the question of, do I try to do something with Four Swords? Because I've actually never seen the Four Swords exclusive stuff in A Link to the Past. I've only ever seen, like, very brief footage, and, like, I know what you unlock by beating that mode, but I've never actually seen it firsthand. So yeah, that was almost really stupid. Okay, I almost, jeez, I almost got hit again, too. I'm gonna be dumb. We're just gonna drop down. I didn't remember if there was actually, like, a spike pit below, so that was probably not smart, but it worked out, so I'll take it. This room sucks that's coming up here. You have to, like, what I do is I drop... Never mind, wrong fortress, that's the next one. Am I thinking of World 7? I like how you can actually see the wings on Boom Boom, even though, you know, you didn't get a chance to fly, so you can actually still tell which variant of Boom Boom this is. Can you fly in 3D World? I'm trying to remember if there's any flying fights with Boom Boom in that game. It's been too long, I need to play both again. I say that when I've played 3D Land ostensibly, what, 4 times? Because you have to do, like, 2 Luigi runs. Well, I've done 2 full playthroughs, including with Luigi, so I've effectively beaten the game, like, 4 times, I think. Maybe 3.5. I might have given up and downloaded a save on the second playthrough, truth be told. Oh, this kinda feels like a predicament. Alright, interesting interaction there. Thanks, game. I really could have used power up, but it's okay. Alright, this is just, like, not the best run of this stage. Okay. Well, I almost died there, so I guess it's better to not get a power up if it means not facing my demise. Like, if we get through the stage without dying, I'll count that as a win. Yeah, that wasn't like a clean run, but we didn't die, so I'll take it. What's left? Got one more. Do we get one more or two more fortresses? This one might have 3 fortresses. Oh, I might be totally misremembering. Oh, this level sucks. This level is very hard. If we die here, I will not be shocked in the slightest, because this one tends to be a little bit of a hurdle for me. I've actually despawned this platform before, on an NES specifically. No clue how, but I've definitely done it. I'm not sure if the fire has a hitbox for the fire chomp, because I'm pretty sure I clipped the fire and I didn't take damage, so... Yeah, this is one where it's like getting P-speed back is like very difficult. Not that I really had it to begin with, so... Again, this playthrough is much longer than it would be otherwise, just because Luigi. The Luigi animation is adding up time. I actually need to start using power-ups, not because I need power-ups, but because I'm gonna run out of room. That was really dumb. Why did I do that? Yeah, I took out the block too early. Well, that's a problem for future Luigi. I'm gonna do stage 6 next. Cause I think I know what stage this is, and I want to get it out of the way now, so I don't have to sweat it later. This is not the stage I thought it was. I was thinking of the other one. This is another problem. I remember most stages in this game, I just don't remember the order sometimes. Why did I swim straight into that? Sheep. I remembered that was there, so that's something. Again, my memory isn't completely gone. It's also kind of interesting, the pattern, if you think about it, because, like, Zelda and Mario both have the same pattern of sequels. Like, Mario 1 and Zelda 1 are, like, the formula establishers. Zelda 2 and Mario 2 both are, like, very... stark departures, though Lost Levels is more of a traditional iterative sequel. And then Mario 3 and Link to the Past are like, you know, back to basics kinda, like, just more the same, like, iterating on the first game kinda sequels. So again, it's very interesting how both kind of follow the same template. I mean, Castlevania did too. Yep, Castlevania 2, Simon... What the hell's the subtitle of Castlevania 2? I'm actually trying to think about it now, and I can't remember it. I swear it has a subtitle, but I don't know what it is. Alright, that could have gone better. The Nintendo Power Guide, which I actually don't know if I still have it. I can't see from here. Also, I like how my VTuber's neck just kind of breaks on screen because of me tilting to look for the guidebook. But anyway. The guidebook actually gives every solution, so if you check like common patterns, you can easily figure out the answer, because it is fixed, which is really interesting. For like the flip game. I'm not even trying with the other game, and if you're wondering why, it's because I don't like it. I can never time that properly, so I'm not even attempting. 3 is Dracula's Curse. 2 was... This was a mistake. This level basically needs a power-up. Why did they do this? Oh, hi, Freeze! Welcome on. Welcome in. Ah, Simon's Quest. Okay, so it did have to do with Simon. Thank you. It's like... Always makes me happy to find out my brain isn't completely fried. Been here lurking. Nice. Alright, one cool trick, this loops you at the start. You can actually go backwards and just immediately cut to the chase, which is nice. I don't know how well known that is, actually. Because I don't feel like I see people using that very often. Yeah, you can't just, like, skip ahead, so that's very nice. What happened to the Koopa? Oh. Oh, ×2. Well, back in this pipe. Back in the building again. That's another game I'm not really sure how to tackle for this series, is do I do Sonic Adventure again? Because that was, like, my first stream, was SA2. Like, that is a game that means a lot to me, so it would count a second time. Oh, I'm so glad I picked the right one first try. I was so scared I would pick the wrong, passageway, because, again, it's blocked off on the right side. Another option is simply use a P-Wing, but I try to save those, so... I used to always use a P-Wing there, but I have gotten to the point where I feel comfortable enough to just do the stage legit, which is nice. Character growth. Yeah, there are 3 fortresses in this world. That feels excessive. I do not like fighting Hammer Bros normally, let alone on ice. Alright. What's next? There should be a grass level coming up soon. It might be this one. Nope, it is an auto-scroller. This game really loves its auto-scrollers. This is the coin level. You basically need to get through the entire thing with a fire flower, and then melt ice at the end. Needless to say, it's very difficult because it's a very platforming-heavy level, and so trying to get a fire flower through here is not the easiest thing in the world to do. So I'm probably not doing that, but I'm pretty sure that's like the only way to guarantee getting the mushroom house at the end. I'm not even gonna try. I've died enough times for one day, which sounds really wild out of context to put it that way. Alright, this should be the end, coming up before too long. There might be a flippy platform, though. Oh, that was close. I almost clipped the Fire Chomp. I've actually never played Castlevania 2 or 3 in full. I've only played 1, and it was kind of miserable, to be honest. I enjoyed it as, like, a really hard NES game, but I definitely got frustrated.